You reach a point somewhere after 40 where life stops whispering and starts tapping your shoulder. The taps are gentle at first, a slower morning, a little more stiffness, a little more mental fog than you remember having. Then you cross 50 and the taps upgrade into knocks. Not dramatic knocks, no sirens, no flashing red lights, but steady ones. You notice afternoons getting heavier. Your energy runs out before the day does. Money feels tighter than it should, even when income hasn't changed. And you begin to feel this strange drift, as if your mind keeps slipping out of gear. People tell you it's aging, but aging is not the villain here. There is a single daily habit, small, innocent, boring, that steals energy, sharpens stress, shrinks focus, raises your expenses, wrecks your sleep, and quietly erodes your financial stability over the years. And most people over 40 repeat it without even noticing. The habit? Living in constant low-grade depletion. Not exhaustion, not burnout, depletion, an unseen leak in your system that drains your mind, body, and wallet a little bit each day. It shows up in a dozen disguises: skipping protein in the morning, living in permanent reaction mode, poor sleep patterns, scattered tasks, endless screen grazing, stress snacking, micro decisions that fracture attention, the myth of pushing through, and a lifestyle built on compensation instead of intention. The problem isn't any single one. The problem is the pattern. Let's walk through it, slow, steady, and honest. Because if you can recognize the leak, you can patch it. And when you patch it, your energy returns, your focus rebuilds, your finances tighten, your confidence rises, and the later chapters of life become sharper, not smaller. This is the truth most experts miss. Depletion is expensive, very expensive, and breaking the pattern costs less than you think. Chapter 1. The hidden drain you don't notice until it's too late. Your life in your 20s and 30s ran on momentum. You could sleep badly, eat whatever was in the fridge, sprint through a day of chaos, and still bounce back the next morning. The engine was forgiving because youth is forgiving. But after 40, the engine changes. And after 50, the rules change even more. Your energy becomes a currency. Your focus becomes a currency. Your mood becomes a currency. And if you don't protect those currencies, your financial currency gets hit too. Most people believe tiredness is just part of aging, but tiredness is usually a symptom of depletion, not age. Depletion accumulates quietly. You wake up slightly tired, you grab coffee instead of protein because it's fast, you skip a morning walk because your knees feel tight, you multitask all morning, you check your phone 80 times, you eat a late lunch and it's mostly carbs, you crash at 3 p.m. You push through the crash using caffeine or sugar, you come home mentally drained. You soothe the stress by scrolling, eating, or spending. You sleep poorly, then repeat the cycle tomorrow. This is the depletion loop, running in the background, invisible, automatic. And each loop has a price. Less energy equals less movement equals weaker muscles equals slower metabolism. Foggy focus equals slower work equals poor decisions equals procrastination. Stress snacking equals higher grocery costs equals worse sleep equals afternoon crashes. Mental fatigue equals impulse spending equals online treat purchases. Forgetfulness equals missed bills, late fees, and disorganization. Emotional depletion equals seeking comfort instead of progress. Poor sleep equals higher medical risk equals higher medical expenses. Your bank balance feels it. Your health feels it. Your relationships feel it. Your confidence feels it. This habit, the habit of depletion, quietly steals 10 years of vitality and piles on 10 years of financial strain. But here's the hopeful part. The loop works in reverse too. When you shift one small mechanism, the entire system begins to change. Chapter 2. The biology behind the habit and why it hits after 40. Think of your body as a system of batteries, not one battery, several. A physical battery, muscle, movement, strength. A mental battery, focus, clarity, memory. An emotional battery, patience, calm, resilience. A metabolic battery, blood sugar, hormones, inflammation. And yes, a financial battery, discipline, planning, self-control. Before 40, these batteries recharge quickly. After 40, recharge becomes slower, but usage increases. That's the trap. Here's why depletion hits harder later in life. 1. Muscle declines equals energy drops equals cravings rise. By 50, you naturally lose muscle unless you fight back. Less muscle means lower energy and higher cravings for quick fuel. 2. Sleep architecture changes. Deep sleep becomes harder to reach, so you wake up at 70% instead of 100%. 3. Stress hormones rise faster. Cortisol becomes more sensitive. You get stressed more easily and it lasts longer. 4. Cognitive load increases with age. Life responsibilities grow. Your brain becomes a library with more books. More books require more organization and more effort. 5. Decision fatigue becomes stronger. Each choice takes a little more energy. Depletion accelerates. But the biggest biological factor is this: your body becomes less tolerant of inconsistency. You could get away with chaotic habits at 30. At 55, the same habits cost you 10 times more energy. And the real financial hit comes through the back door. Tiredness equals fewer workouts equals more medical issues. Foggy focus equals missed opportunities equals impulsive spending. Stress equals comfort buying equals credit card creep. Low energy equals poor planning equals rushed purchases. Depletion equals procrastination equals late fees and penalties. That's why the habit of depletion makes you tired, unfocused, and broke. Chapter 3. The lie we tell ourselves. I'll fix it later. People over 40 fall into one of the most dangerous illusions. The idea that tiredness is temporary, but life is permanent. Later, tomorrow, next week. I'll fix my health once work slows down. I'll exercise when I have more energy. I'll organize my finances after the holidays. I'll sleep better once things calm down. But here's the paradox. Life doesn't calm down. You do. Life stays wild. You slow down because depletion robs your velocity. The human brain tries to preserve energy by postponing difficult things. But postponing the important things is precisely what drains more energy later. It becomes a self-reinforcing loop. Defer today, pay more tomorrow. This is the hidden cost of depletion. Its interest rate compounds. And here's the hard truth wrapped in kindness. If you are over 50 and constantly tired, your body is not slowing down naturally. Your systems are asking for a different style of leadership. Your biology is saying, lead me with intention or I will run on emergency mode. Emergency mode is expensive and it's exhausting. The good news? You can exit it. And you can do it without heroic discipline, gym memberships, or radical diets. You need one shift. A single shift. Chapter 4. The Pattern Breaker. Intentional recharge. Recharge is not rest. Rest is passive. Recharge is active. Recharge means you don't wait for life to drain you dry. You fill your batteries on purpose, daily, deliberately, predictably. You build a system that plugs the leaks. There are 3 simple levers that transform everything after 50. 1. A morning anchor. Not a routine, a simple anchor. One act that tells your mind and body, we are starting from strength. A protein-first breakfast, a 12-minute walk, a slow stretch session, a hydration ritual, reading something nourishing for 5 minutes. Just one. Once it becomes automatic, the depletion loop already begins to collapse. 2. A friction point removal. This is the magic part. Remove one small daily friction that drains energy. Lay out clothes the night before. Prep a simple lunch. Delete 3 apps you don't use. Organize your workspace. Reduce one recurring bill. Schedule your sleep. Each friction removed returns attention. Attention returns energy. Energy returns discipline. Discipline returns money. 3. An evening off-ramp. Again, simple, not perfect. Dim lights. Shut screens 30 minutes early. Put your phone on the other side of the room. Drink water instead of snacking. Stretch your back and hips. You don't need perfection. You need a doorway into deeper sleep. These 3 levers, morning anchor, friction removal, and evening off-ramp, break the depletion loop with astonishing speed. Within 3 days, your focus sharpens. Within 7 days, your energy stabilizes. Within 14 days, your cravings drop. Within 21 days, your spending habits change. Within 30 days, you feel 10 years younger. Not because you worked harder, because you stopped leaking energy. Chapter 5. The financial consequences no one talks about. People assume financial trouble starts with big mistakes, large purchases, big debts, sudden emergencies. But for people over 50, the most damaging financial source is much smaller: energy-depleted decisions. When you are tired, you spend to feel relief. When you are stressed, you buy convenience. When you are unfocused, you forget obligations. When you are depleted, you become vulnerable to marketing. When you feel behind, you buy speed instead of strategy. Depletion triggers tiny financial leaks: subscription creep, impulse purchases, unused health gadgets, comfort foods, takeout meals you didn't really need, home services you didn't really need, scrolling purchases made out of boredom or anxiety, credit card interest because you didn't schedule payments, medical expenses from neglect instead of prevention. And here's the brutal twist: the less energy you have, the more money you spend trying to compensate for it. Food to boost mood, caffeine to boost energy, convenience to save time, entertainment to escape stress, gadgets to feel productive. It becomes a financial death by 1,000 cuts. But once you break the depletion loop, the opposite occurs. More energy, more movement, better metabolic health. Better sleep, stronger decision-making. Sharper attention, better financial planning. Lower stress, fewer emotional purchases. More discipline, less debt creep. More confidence, better long-term decisions. Your wallet feels the shift before your mirror does. Chapter 6. Rebuilding the second half of life. People talk about aging gracefully, but the real goal is aging powerfully with a clear mind, strong body, stable finances, and control over your time. This doesn't require perfection, it requires intention. This is the thesis of your later life. Energy is the master resource. Everything else grows from it. Break the depletion habit and you rebuild the entire architecture of your life. Your sleep deepens, your mood brightens, your metabolism wakes up, your brain sharpens, your finances stabilize, your stress falls, and your confidence rises. And the beauty is that it starts with one action, just one. You don't need a program, you don't need motivation, you don't need to find the time. You simply need to move from reaction to intention. You need to stop compensating and start leading. Every chapter of your life up to now prepared you for this moment. The wisdom you gained, the resilience you earned, the lessons you survived, they're fuel. All you need is to stop the leak. This is your invitation to the next, sharper phase of your life. Not a slower one, a clearer one, a more powerful one. And it begins today with one choice, one habit, one step away from depletion and towards strength. The second half of life is not a decline, it is a redesign. And you are right on time.